gonna take a selfie very quickly. You guys don't mind? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I needed that. Yesterday we had dinner with all the presenters, and they were introducing each other, and Will said, whoever is following Jade, you're screwed. And all I gotta say is, fuck. How do I follow that? Anyway, my journey, it's an interesting one. I was born in a small city outside of Mexico City called Estado de Mexico. It's, my parents got divorced when I was 9 years old. And at the age of 19, my dad said, you're moving to Houston to help your brother out. So he helped me pack my stuff into a black plastic bag, and he sent me to Houston. That was the beginning of my journey. When I arrived in the States, I didn't speak a word of English, so I had very limited opportunities and choices. And in my head, I could either wash dishes or cut grass. And I always thought, I'm too good looking to be cutting grass, so I decided to go ahead and wash dishes, air-conditioned, shade. As a dishwasher, I remember wanting to be a busboy. I applied for the busboy position. I wanted to be in the dining rooms, interacting with the guests, being exposed to the language. I wanted to immerse myself fully in this new life, in this new culture. Quickly, my hard work and my commitment paid off. But most importantly, my manager's conviction that if someone was doing a good job, they deserved to be promoted, not kept in the same role. So he promoted me to busboy. Once I reached the position of busboy and I got exposed to the servers, man, I admired the servers. These guys, this staff, they were so cool. The way they interacted with the guests, the way they spoke the language and interacted with each other, it feels like they enjoy life differently. So I decided I was gonna be a server, and I pushed forward. I practiced my English constantly so I could communicate with the guests. I memorized the menu like no other. I really knew the menu from A to Z. And I bugged my manager constantly that he would allow me to be a server one day. Finally, after 2 years of being a server, he promoted me. After 2 years of being a busboy, he finally promoted me to server, despite of my English still not being perfect, and despite of the mistakes that he knew I was gonna make along the way. Achieving these 2 promotions taught me a very important lesson that if I applied myself, I could accomplish anything I wanted to accomplish in life. So this set my path forward in the industry, in the hospitality industry. Under the same leadership, I went from dishwasher to busboy to server, server trainer, bartender, bar manager, manager, general manager. And just because he had my best interest at heart. Quickly, I realized that if I wanted to continue growing in the industry, I had to study. I had to educate myself. So I was forced to get a degree. I got a degree in economics and finance from the University of Houston. And I landed what I thought was my dream job as a multi-unit manager. The challenge with this job is that the person that hired me had 0 leadership skills. He was very abusive and very demanding. I worked for him for years. I used to work 60, 70 hours a week. I helped them open restaurants, develop managers. I helped them increase revenue and profitability. But despite of all of this, he would yell at me and bitch me out constantly. This constant abuse filled me with rage and discomfort. I hated working for this man. This constant abuse allowed me to make a commitment to myself that I would never let anybody else take advantage of me again. I was committed of opening my own company, starting my own company so I can treat my people differently. In reality, when I quit and I started this journey, I felt more lost than I had ever felt before. At times, I felt like I didn't have the gifts, the talents, the ability, the background, the resources. I felt like I didn't have what it took to achieve what I wanted to achieve. No one in my circle, none of my friends had ever dreamed that big. I never wanted to achieve this big goal. But I pushed forward. I remember I attended seminars, I networked, I wrote business plans, concepts, menus. I talked to investors, developers, landlords. But after 5 years of constantly trying, I had absolutely nothing to show for. This failure in my life filled me with despair and depression. I was at the end of my rope. And this depression allowed me to create a very deep connection with a greater power. And I remember one day saying, God, I love you. I trust you. My life is in your hands. If I am meant to be a business owner, fine. If not, I'm going to be a fantastic business manager. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to the day after I prayed a simple prayer, I got a message that said, Julio, it's been a long time. Do you want to buy my business? The challenge with this message is that it came from the wrong person. It came from the person that used to abuse me. It came from the person that I promised I would never work with ever again. So after some convincing, I decided to give it a shot. So I remember I went to the restaurant, and when I arrived at his restaurant, the restaurant was big, vibrant, full of people. He had a long wait list, and in my head I'm thinking, why is he selling this business? And why me when I know he hates me? Why me when I know he gets pleasure from belittling me? After a while, after the wait list died, we finally sat down. He sat with me and he explained that he was tired of the industry, that he wanted to retire, that he believed in me, and he believed that I could continue his vision forward. See, all these years I thought he hated me. All these years I thought it gave him pleasure to abuse me. But in reality, it didn't. In reality, he wasn't a bad person. He was just a restaurateur like many of us, trying to survive. And he lacked the necessary skills to inspire people, so he would source to yelling and screaming. So I remember sitting down with him and I asked him, how much money do you want for your business? And he said, $500,000. I still had the dishwasher mentality, so $500,000. Then he asked me, how much money do you have? I think he saw it in my face. And I said, I have my life savings, $30,000. He looked at me with such disappointment. But I could tell something in his heart was telling him to sell me this business. I don't know if it was the remorse from the years of abuse or or the fact that he really believed that I was the right person to take over. I remember after a big pause, he looked up and he said, Julio, give me what you have. Give me what you have and pay me the rest in 5 years. See, 17 years had gone by. 17 years since I packed my stuff into a black plastic bag. 17 years since my dad said, you're moving to Houston to help your brother out. My life and the life of those around me will forever change after this moment. Just because this person, this individual, decided to trust, decided to believe in me, and decided to pay it forward. After that day, I gave myself to the business. I loved that business. I worked that business like no other. I remember we increased revenues by almost $1 million within the first year. That restaurant became so loved, so well liked, that this $500,000 loan that I was supposed to pay in 5 years, I paid it off in 6 months. This gentleman changed my life. He gave me hope. He gave me purpose. He could have sold that business for cash. He could have sold that business for profit. But instead, he took pity on me. And he decided to pay it forward and change my life. After 6 years of running Mia Bella, my wife and I decided to open our own brand. So we opened Ambriza Social Mexican Kitchen with the intention of empowering our most talented employees and providing them with the same opportunities that I was once given. We developed a program and a path in which our most talented individuals can become business owners themselves. We developed a bonus program so they could have enough money to pay for the franchise, to buy the businesses from us. We hired consultants that can design the path and the programs to do this responsibly so they could learn how to run these restaurants properly and grow with the business. Today, our company has created 3 business owners. Today, Jacob, who's here, Jacob started with us as a food runner, an expediter. He had never been in the industry before. And today, Jacob owns 2 of the franchises, and him and his family are living their best life yet. Today, Anna, who started with us as a server, has owned the busiest store in the company for the past 2 years. Anna's biggest dream was to be a mom. For 13 years, she tried becoming a mom. 2 years ago, she had a very difficult miscarriage. But I can proudly say that she gave birth to a beautiful baby boy 3 weeks ago. And I believe that the business did that. She didn't need any medical help. She just did it natural. I think the business gave her the confidence, the peace of mind to just do that. I think that was God's perfect plan. Today, our company has grown from producing $3 million to $16 million. This past week, we signed 2 business loans for the amount of $15 million. Wow. If you would have asked the dishwasher from 27 years ago, if you would have told him that he was going to be signing millions of dollars in loans to open freestanding restaurants of his own, the dishwasher would have said, there's no way. This is impossible. This doesn't happen, only in fairy tales. I am the embodiment of the American dream. But this American dream doesn't just happen. It requires visionary leaders, people willing to take chances on people, people willing to make the commitment to bring people up. Sorry, I thought I had it. So this is what I'm asking. I'm asking you to live a life full of purpose. Be intentional. Find the most talented individuals in your organizations and give them grace. Show them true hospitality and pay it forward. We are part of an industry that we serve hundreds of people on a daily basis. Why not serve those people around us? Why not design a path and a program for the most talented individuals in your organizations to reach ownership? Why not start operating our companies and our businesses not so much from a business perspective, but from a human perspective? I believe that if you do this, I believe if you decide to pay it forward, you will flourish. You will have more freedom, more resources, more time, more creativity, more opportunities to reach new heights. I believe that if you decide to pay it forward, you will surround yourself with the most talented individuals and the most loyal individuals in this industry. I believe that if you decide to pay it forward, ultimately your guests will understand, will be able to enjoy that loyalty and commitment. At the end of my life, at the end of our lives, we shouldn't be known for the number of businesses that we open. We shouldn't be known for the brands that we created. We should be known for the people that we helped along the way. We should be known for the industry that fed this country and that continue the American dream moving forward.